to the Wise Effort podcast. This podcast is about helping you take your energy and put it in the places that matter most to you. And along the way, you may need some skills. Things like psychological flexibility, self-compassion, and compassion are foundational skills in being able for you to take wise effort in your life. Today is a real play episode. As promised, these episodes are sort of like a little behind the scenes of what happens in my therapy office, which we are in right now. Welcome to my therapy office. And the real play is with Jenny Schatzle. Jenny Schatzle is a fitness instructor, founder of Bond Fitness, which is a program here in Santa Barbara, California that is wildly popular. People want to sign up to her classes. It's impossible to get in at the 5:30 a.m. class, and she's been doing it for over a decade. Jenny is also a mom of two, and her ideas around body image, fitness, diet culture have really changed a lot over the years. And she's ready to make a shift in her life, in her career, to spread some of these messages, some of these values that she embodies for herself, but that she wants to help others embody as well around an anti-diet culture, body positivity, and really inspiring moms to change their relationship with their bodies. You'll find that in this real play, I don't really follow a script. I came in with an idea of what I wanted to do with Jenny, but when you are a therapist, you're really just tracking your client and tracking the places where you may find psychological inflexibility, the places where you think some compassion and self-compassion may be helpful. And I do a couple of things. I start out our conversation as a highlighter of values. I'm listening for Jenny to share about what's important to her, what brings her vitality. And it's really clear early on that Jenny has clear values. So then I pivoted to, okay, then what's getting in the way? She so clearly knows what she cares about. And I identify three main things that tend to get in the way of us living out your values. So you'll listen for those three. And then I guide Jenny on a visualization, inner journey to help access her wisest self, her most compassionate self, to help her out with some of those barriers. So you'll listen to me guiding her through that. And that is something that you could do on your own with yourself, that inner journey, that compassionate guide. And then finally, we kind of wrap things up and start to talk about, okay, how are you going to put this into practice? What does this look like? What is it going to be like for you in the next few weeks and years to come to live out these values that she has? Enjoy this episode with Jenny Schatzle, and please share it with somebody that you think may benefit. Also, a reminder, the Self-Compassion Daily Journal is out March 1st. I will be at Yoga Soup on March 2nd, Saturday, and you'll be able to pick up your copy there and get it signed. I'll give a little talk on self-compassion, and certainly the things that we're talking about in this episode in terms of compassion for the body, spreading compassion to others, those are all things that we cover in the Self-Compassion Daily Journal. So I look forward to that. And for those of you that are Wise Effort members of this podcast, I am uploading for you the talk and meditation that I gave this month at Yoga Soup. It's all about love, the four nutriments of Buddhism. And I share a little bit about my husband and our 25th anniversary. Happy anniversary, honey. Love you. All right, on to Jenny Schatzle.
Let's do a 2-minute grounding. I like to ground by first just bringing the outside in, and we have this beautiful sound of water. So let's listen to the sound of water. And then feeling our feet touching the ground, our body in the seat. And then a nice, long, slow breath, really focusing on the exhale. And then the next time you take a long, slow breath, allow it to wash through any tension or holding in your body on that exhale. So washing through your face and your shoulders and your hands and your back. And then I like to contact my heart and just remember what it is that I'm here for. What is this in the service of? And letting that be the focus of our conversation today. And you can come on back.
Okay. Cozy on the couch.
Cozy on the
The
couch.
love seat. Love seats were really in for a while. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, love seat. So what are you here for? What's in the service
Ooh,
of?
I love this. Okay, what do I need to work on? I'm feeling stuck in the sense of career.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big, I have a lot of fear moving forward.
Okay. Good. So we're
Yes.
going to work. I sensed that of you when we were at our fire pit. I was like, ooh, I want to work with Jenny because there's a stuck spot. And this is like my favorite thing to do with people. So let's start by you describing, you have to describe a little bit about who you are and what your career is.
Okay.
And then the places you're stuck. And then I have a practice that we can do together that's a good getting unstuck practice.
Okay.
So
This whole time, just
you can
look
look
at
the
you.
camera if you want. You can look at me, whatever
Okay.
you want. I mean, wherever you feel most comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, the camera's less important. I actually want this to benefit you.
Okay. I love
And
that.
then if it benefits you, then it might benefit someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, look at me, whatever you want, or look away. Sometimes we have to look up into the corner when we're talking about ourselves.
Okay.
So where are you stuck? And tell me about who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Jenny. And so I will speak career-wise. I feel like that's why I'm here. I'm feeling very stuck.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I started a business with my business partner that I absolutely loved. I still love.
Mm-hmm.
When we built our business, which is a gym in Santa Barbara, it was just so fun. It was never about the money. It was always about building a community, doing what we loved, which was movement and helping people feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We started a gym and we always said, we're not starting a gym, we're starting a community.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a place where everyone could come feel accepted and belonged. It was non-judgmental. It still is, excuse me, I'm talking like it's past tense. It still is.
Yeah.
Every age, level, shape, size, you know, it's not about like what you do or what you look like. It's truly about coming together and feeling good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing, and it took off and grew faster than we ever expected.
It was on fire. So that's when I first met you. It was 10 years ago. You don't remember me, but I remember you. Postpartum, dragging mood-wise, and it was such a source of inspiration for me with a little baby at home to have a place to come. It is a phenomenal experience that you've created for people.
Thank you.
And this was before you had twins. So
before I had children. And it is funny though, I do remember you because I remember you telling me, obviously you haven't had kids because of all like the jumping and the jumping jacks. And
I'm like peeing. And
so I actually, after I had kids, I remembered that. I was like, oh yeah,
postpartum.
That's true.
Careful with those jumping jacks. Yeah.
Yes. So 6 years ago I had twins.
Mm-hmm.
And then we rebranded the gym. So literally the gym was called the Jenny Schatzle program. So it was my name.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of my identity. I've done some work around this. It was like my first baby, you know, it was my whole life. And, you know, we were working really hard, long days, but it was so fun. Building the business was the most fun. And again, it's still fun. But then I had children, we rebranded. And now things look very different. And we have an incredible staff. We've brought on one of our coaches who worked for us almost since the beginning. We gave him a little part of the business and made him a business partner.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that Cheeto?
Yeah, that's Cheeto.
My favorite.
I know. He's the best. We have an incredible staff. I don't teach nearly as much as I used to. And I'm really on this mission to help women feel good about themselves in the sense of body image. Mm-hmm. And I really want to change the conversation around health. I think a lot of us, especially women in our 40s and moms, we grew up with really toxic messaging around health. Mm-hmm. Like we thought, or we were taught, you know, that health is being thin. And a lot of us grew up extreme dieting and binging, the all or nothing, working out, not to feel good necessarily, but to look good. And now this term has been coined diet culture, which really means what you look like is more important than how you feel. Yeah. And so I'm trying to really unravel that.
Yeah. And you can see it. So on your social media, on Instagram, I was watching, I don't scroll a lot. Instagram.
Which is good, which is so healthy.
So I was watching some yesterday. I was like, I better get up on what Jenny's doing. And my gosh, you have one post where you're like eating, I don't know, some kind of Fritos, and then you're picking up the quinoa and you're like, health is both of this. It's like you're drinking the green juice, but you're eating the Fritos, and it's not about, like, kind of busting those rules and ideas about what health is, and then you jumping in the pool with your girls. You have so many good, so I'll just say there's a messaging that is evolving and you're showing in different domains that is coming out. And then you have this business over here, which is part of that messaging, but I could also see how it's potentially consuming a lot of your time and energy that may be preventing you from putting your energy in this space that your mission, I mean, you already have a mission around it that you want to promote.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you have this mission to help women feel good about themselves, body image, changing our narrative and the diet culture.
Yes. And around, I mean, I really, believe in health is such, it's just, I believe a lot of us, especially women, grew up with toxic messaging around health that I don't actually agree with and think is correct. And I've done it all. I grew up in this lifestyle. My family very much, you can listen to podcasts I've done. I always talk about this. My family, we bonded over dieting and binging.
Yeah.
Like we dieted together, and then on Sundays, it was our cheat day. We would, and even when I talk about it, I get warm inside. Like it was a bonding moment. We spent all day watching TV, eating all the food we shouldn't. And so I already had grown up in this, and then I went into the fitness industry.
Right.
And I did all the things. Like our program, when we first started, if you remember, I used to weigh people in every 6 weeks.
Yeah. There was elements of it that weren't.
It was, yes. I used to.
I never did those.
Yes. I mean, we always give people the option, but I weighed people in. I gave restricted diets. People would journal their food and give it to me, and I'd circle it and cross it and say, don't eat this, don't eat that.
Yeah.
And I've lived this life. And so I know that, to be honest, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And so I saw that. I saw a lot of moms too, before I even had kids, coming in and saying, if I just lost this last 10 pounds, then I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, most of the times when you do lose that 10 pounds, you're still not happy, because it's never enough. When we're basing our life and our happiness on a number on the scale, it's just never going to be enough.
Right. And now you have 2 girls.
And now, and the universe, God, whenever we want to, I have 2 girls. And this started right before I got pregnant, I should say, this kind of change. And we actually changed the business. We stopped weighing people in. We stopped giving restrictive diets. And we really changed our messaging to, health is consistency. Health is longevity. It's like, what are we doing on a daily basis to make us feel good? You don't have to go 110% every single time you're in the gym, but showing up and moving your body in the way that you feel that day, that's going to help the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And so really changing the conversation around how we move our bodies, health. And then I have 2 girls.
Yeah.
And I have stopped dieting. I will say, one part of this problem, and I think I need to reframe the way that I talk about this a lot, is, and it's also the reality, it's a lot easier to sell weight loss than it is to sell loving your body and accepting who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's just the truth.
Right. So I want to go there, because you clearly have your mission and your passion, and you could talk about that for the next hour, and we could do a whole podcast.
Yes.
We could do a whole podcast on that. And I love it. I love you. I also have 2 boys, and boys are not immune. Transgender people are not immune. People are not immune. No one's immune anymore now that we have social media, especially of these, it's just sort of like dialed up. Like we have diet culture, but now we have all sorts of other types of culture around what is health. We have orthorexia. We have, all sorts of things. People drinking protein drinks to gain weight, all sorts of things.
And I can't tell you how many, just a quick sidebar.
Yeah.
How many parents have been reaching out to me lately about their boys.
Right.
About there's this whole TikTok about gaining weight and being muscular and taking, like no 14-year-old boy should be taking creatine. And like, this is too early to get into this stuff.
Right.
So yes, thank you for mentioning that. It's not just girls.
Yeah. And your sweet spot is around girls.
My sweet spot is around, just for me personally, is moms.
Moms.
Because I believe moms, and I am very progressive, in a very progressive relationship. Moms are bringing in the energy, though. We are, if a mom has bad body image, the statistics of their children having bad body image is very high.
Right. And even if they're saying all the right things, what they're doing, the kids pick up on it. The kids sense it.
You can't hide it.
You cannot hide it.
You cannot hide it. I can't tell you how many, also moms say, well, I don't ever say this in front of my kids.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It is an energy.
Right.
How we feel about ourselves is an energy, and our children pick up on it. And we have to really be working on that on a daily basis. Like, we're not going to wake up every day and love, oh, I look amazing. I love my body.
We're going to have bad body image days, but what I'm trying to do is, what do you do when that happens?
Yeah. So usually what I do when I start with people is I get a sense of, do they know what their values are? Help them have a conversation about that. You are like so far down the road of knowing what your values are and where you want to point the direction of your energy. It's ridiculous. Like, you're so sure in it.
Yes.
And I see 3 things that get in the way of us living out our values. 3 things. And it comes from psychology, but it also comes from a lot of other places that have, contemplative practice, different places that have talked about these 3 things. One is avoidance. I don't want to feel something. And the direction of my values is also the direction of feeling that thing, whether it's something like anxiety or fear or like an imposter or whatever it is that you're not wanting to feel. So I'm turning away from the very thing that I want because I don't want to feel something. So I'm going to ask you about each of these. The second thing that turns us away from our values is I'm holding on to something. I'm attached to it. And in order to move in that direction, I'd have to let go. I'd have to let go of something that is really hard for me to let go of. Attachment. So we have avoidance, we have attachment. And then the third, which is pernicious and also plays out in those other 2, is a story. I'm believing a story about myself, a story that's probably not even mine, a story about money. I am full on believing this story. In ACT, we call it fusion. I'm fused to a belief that's preventing me from taking this leap. So I imagine each one of those, maybe something showed up, but you're kind of tearing up. So tell me what came up for you when I described those 3.
I mean, yeah, I think I have issues in all 3.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So let's break them down. Avoidance.
I would definitely say I'm avoiding failure. I have a thing around, I don't want to fail. I think this all maybe is all 3 of them. I don't want to fail. How do I put this? I've had really amazing people in my life come and help me. Like, they've just shown up.
Yeah.
And like my business partner, Steven, is
because you're an amazing person and amazing people attract amazing people. This is the thing.
That's
why you're on my couch right now, Jenny.
That is
true. We've attracted each other.
That is true.
Like, people want to be around you. You've had amazing people show up. And what's the story?
And like, I can't, so I feel like I've had a lot of people come in, like Steven in particular has come in. Without him, the gym wouldn't have, he kind of helped make it all happen.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of reliance on that. Like, I can't do it by myself. People have to come in. I think a lot of times I wait for somebody to kind of come in and save me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or tell me the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I always say I'm really out of alignment when I'm looking for the answer in other things, but especially I do, even this next phase of my life, Steven has said, like, you're the one who has to, put your stake in the ground. And, if you want to go big with this, you have to be the one to do it. And I'm like waiting for him to help me do it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm avoiding
that inner authority, the sense of like, I can be the author of this. I'm the first author of this. Like, you don't trust that.
Yeah.
You don't trust that.
Yeah.
So I need someone to tell me the answer. I can't do it by myself. I would put those in the category of self stories.
Okay.
Avoidance of failure, but there's more there. What else are you avoiding? Is there a fear of what other people will think? Is there a fear of letting people down? Is there?
I think letting people down, not doing it right.
Uh-huh.
I think not doing it right is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, letting people down. Yeah, I keep coming back to like not doing it right.
Yeah.
But then I don't do it at all.
Yeah, but then you don't do it at all.
Yes, I'm literally
and
paralyzed.
I'm wondering as you told the story of the gym, that there's actually some things that you didn't do right when you founded Jenny Schatzle.
That's true.
But you just sort of told us. You just sort of exposed. I am the anti-diet woman who had people come in and I weighed them.
It's true.
Like, I don't know if you did this, but I have like a memory of it. Did you take the pictures?
Oh yeah, we did the measurements. we did it all. Yes, we did.
I think I ran out of there.
Yes, good for you. You were ahead of the time. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm just here to slam some balls. I don't want you pinching my belly.
Yeah.
That's what I was there for.
Yeah. Thinking about it now.
Yeah. So So part of that, quote, not doing it right early on actually helped with, like, you needed to go there. You
Need
needed
to go through that
you need to
to
fumble it.
understand where I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it doesn't work. And
What about attachment?
and I would say, like, even with the gym, I did a lot of this once we rebranded, and which was the right thing to do. And then I had children. It was a lot of ego. It was, did have to let that go. I have a lot of, I would say, I mean, you can tell me better. It's probably a lot of ego I've still tried to work through, like needing to be busy, people thinking I'm busy, producing, doing. And then in the same sense, I always feel like I'm doing nothing. Like I never feel like I'm doing enough.
That's another story.
That's another story.
I never feel like I'm doing enough. Okay. As you say those things, I'm just gonna reflect back to you about, and actually maybe you can even close your eyes. And I may even have you talk to me through this. So I want you to envision there's like a road, and it's a twisty, windy road in front of you, and it's moving in the direction of where you want to go with this. And the things that I heard you say is you have a mission to help women feel good about themselves, changing the narrative, changing diet culture, moms who are just the center and spreading, something different than what they're spreading around their bodies. You want community and fun. I heard those earlier on. Those are also part of it. So envision yourself 10 years down the road. Kids are older. You're in a different spot in relationship to your career. And it doesn't have to be all fleshed out, but I just want you to envision like the colors, the feelings, all those things. Could you have a picture of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, describe it a little bit to me of what it looks like 10 years down the road.
I see I'm on stage and I'm talking to a big group of women.
And what are you noticing about the women as you're talking?
The engagement is really high. Everybody feels like they are sincerely listening. It's also fun. The room is warm. There's an energy, and these women just really want to hear what I have to say.
And can you see yourself, what you're sort of spreading, like what your face, your energy, your voice, your presence looks like?
Yeah, I'm like on the stage, but then walk down and like in the crowd. Again, very engaged and just like in my element. It feels so good about talking about exactly this, changing the conversation on health and body image, and just women are just needing this. That's what it feels like.
Okay. So then I want you to kind of like wind back along that twisty road. And I want you to see that along that road, there are like huge obstacles. Sort of like how you set up in your fitness classes. They're like huge. They're bigger than
the boxes.
And these are the obstacles that are in the way for you. So one is that feeling of I'm not going to do it right. And the experience of failure, which will happen for you, and you will have moments of not doing it right. And let's start with that one. So I want you to kind of go up along the road and meet that obstacle of failure, and I'm not going to do it right. And then I want you to take that Jenny that's 10 years down the road, and I want her to come and meet you, a woman, a mom, and I want her to coach you around that obstacle. So have that Jenny come up to you. Let her see you, let her love you in the same way that she loves all those women in that audience. She loves you. Let her inspire you. And if there's anything that she tells you, you can take it in, you can say it out loud. You don't have to say it out loud. Okay. Now, she's going to come with you to the next one. So we're going down the road and you hit another one. And this one is you feeling really alone. I can't do this by myself. I need someone to tell me the answer.
And this Jenny is with you. And again, she sees you. And she either tells you something or offers you something or has some advice. But let her respond, I can't do it by myself. I need someone to tell me the answer. And then you go down the road a little bit more, and then now it's like a big wall. Another obstacle, and this one's a big one because it's your ego. And Jenny's there, and she gives you some wisdom about your ego. And then you go down that road a little bit more, and then you're getting on that stage. And there you are with Jenny. So come on back to your body, back to this moment. I'm going to have you share with me about what she said. But come back to your body in this moment, listening to the water that we heard at the beginning, grounding yourself in, and you can just gently open up your eyes and come back.
I opened them because I had to keep wiping my tears.
Yeah. So what happened for you? I wasn't planning on that journey. I was
that
planning
was
on something
actually
else, but
really
it's a good
good.
journey.
That
Yeah.
was
What happened?
that was amazing. First, randomly, when you were describing, there's big boulders. It was like a big version of me. It was like I was all the
Oh.
boulders. It was like
Oh.
a huge statue of me.
You are your own.
I am like
sabotager.
everyone was. And then I saw the wall, but I was still like part of the
Still
wall.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, the first one.
I can remind you.
Yeah,
that was
remind me,
that
'cause
person was failure, not doing it right.
When 10-year Jenny came back, she just said, I clearly heard that the world needs you. And that if you don't go for it, it's a disservice to women everywhere.
So she was in a very much sort of like this stance of like, you can't let this get in the
can't
way
not do
because
this.
you have to do it. Like a firefighter. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm scared of that. It doesn't matter. You got
Doesn't
to
matter.
go
Like
in.
you have to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The world needs you. If you don't go for it, it's a disservice. Okay. Next obstacle that came along, which was really sweet to see your face when this one came up, because I was like, I kind of felt for you in this one. I made you feel lonely. I can't do it by myself. I need someone to tell me the answer.
It's so crazy how clear each like message was. This one was so clear that I'm so supported. Like people are going to help me and they're just waiting for me to take the first step. Like nobody's often, I get, especially my business partner and I have been together a long time. And I do always say, he made the gym easier for me, like just kind of cleared a path. And so I can get very upset that he's not making this next venture as easy. And I almost get I get angry at him, but it's me.
Yeah.
And then I think like, well, nobody even wants to help me or believes in what I'm doing, but that's actually not it.
Yeah.
It's me being angry at myself for not doing it. And
Yeah.
the clear message was, I have so much support and everybody's here to help me.
Yeah.
I just need to take the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
You like
Yes.
manifested me to help you in
I
this.
totally did.
So there's people that are hungry. So here's the thing. There's people that are hungry to help you because you've helped a lot of people. And that is the nature of our interconnection. So you don't even know that you helped me 10 years ago when I was I was postpartum, bad postpartum.
Yeah.
You helped me. I remembered you. And then, it just, people want to give to you because you have changed a lot of people's lives in this community already. Hundreds, thousands, probably thousands of lives. They want to come to be a service to you because they know that you're going to take it and you're going to spread it and you're going to move it forward. We all want to be part of that kind of help. We want to be part of the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you are so supported. People are going to help you. They're just waiting for you to take the first step. Wise words.
And it's
Jenny
funny
Schatzle.
too, even just talking about this right now, it came up that too, I feel a lot of times I need to be so busy and I need to be doing this. I need to be the one to do it. But then I'm angry that I'm not getting maybe somebody's not telling me the answer.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's just like this. Yeah. And I always tell people, like, nobody can do it alone either. And then I'm trying to do it on my own. I don't know. It's this whole circle, I think.
Right. So the first sort of process of getting out of some of those stuck places is to begin with a more of a curious mind. Than I have to have the answer mind, right?
Yeah.
Like I am just curious, deeply curious about how this is going to happen, and I'm moving into it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have, just like when you started Jenny Schatzle 10 years ago, you had no idea where it was going to go,
No
or
idea.
how it was going to change, or how you were going to change, or that you were going to get blessed with twins.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You know, and how many moms that were taking your class are like, ha, she had twins.
I think everybody.
All the postpartum moms were like, good luck with that. Because we were all in there,
Literally
like,
everybody.
You had like the body, you know.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
there
mean,
you
literally all I did was work out for 10 hours a day. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
didn't have kids. I didn't
You got
yes.
twins.
And then I
Rock
got
your world.
twins. Yes.
Okay. Ego. That was your last obstacle. Tell me about what Jenny said.
Oh,
Ego.
this was so good. This was so clear. It's so good. It's not about you. It's about them.
Yeah.
That was just so clear.
Yeah. It's not about you.
And I will say, you know this, we're always in the work. And I feel like I've done a lot of my ego work, but there's still a lot there.
Yeah.
Like I do, even, Instagram and things like that. I get so up in my head. Is that the right message? Should I do it right? How do I look? All the things we always say, we teach what we also need to learn. And so it's just, I can feel it too. When I'm out of alignment, I'm very much in my ego.
Yeah.
And I have lately, I think that's part of me being stuck is I've been making it about me and not about the service I'm here to provide for others.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
The
very
service.
clear.
So that service was really clear when you were on that stage and you were feeling that connection with the women.
Yes.
Like that value of service, the value of giving, the value of inspiring, and that you have a way of doing that. Like everyone has their way. Some people it's on a stage. Some people it's not on a stage. Their service is working at the library and, reading to kids and being in a very different way of being of service, right? So your way, as it always I've kind of known about you, is it's to be big and loud and inspire and be a source of power and empowerment. And when you put it, these barriers or these blocks are going to continue to show up for you. But what's exciting is that the very value that you are going for, you can use to help you to be in service also to your own self to get through and around these obstacles, because they're going to keep on showing up. And you have within you already all the wisdom, as everyone always does. It's just accessing it, of these three. These are like your mantras, your messages. I would put them on Post-it notes and put them on your mirror, or do it however you want to do it. Put it in your phone. Yeah. Read them to yourself. Remind yourself of it. And then there's the nitty-gritty of how do I actually, what is the next step?
Yeah.
And do you feel like you have that?
I'm going to put these on my wall and then.
Okay, I'm going to put these on the wall and then.
And that's it. And that's where I like physically, I always, especially when I'm explaining me being stuck, I do this. Mm-hmm. Like I'm hitting my head, like physically, I just start to do this. Like I'm hitting my head against a wall.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to explain to people, like, I just feel like this all the time. Mm-hmm. And then I physically do this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know my next step. It's like, I guess that's where I get all, I need to go for it. I need to create a plan. I need to, how am I going to do more public speaking?
There you go. Okay. So how do we get from being in a gym inspiring people to being on a stage? And you have done lots of public speaking. I mean,
yes.
At least I don't know. I see you're doing public speaking.
Yes.
Right. So you want to be doing more of that, more public speaking. Is that the primary way in which you want to manifest this, or are there other ways? Do you want to be having coaching groups that you coach through? Do you want to be developing courses? Do you want, like, what is your...
Yeah, I see it as kind of like all three of those. I see it as public speaking and then courses. So kind of, after I get off stage, I can say, we can keep this conversation going and helping people to continue it in a coaching manner.
And you already have people that you could give that course to. You don't have to even have to be on a stage. You already have a audience of people that
I definitely have an audience, but then again, it's like, this is where, have I sat down and written the course? No. And again, this is like where the fear and the block comes every time. I've probably in my 20 courses, I've started to write, but never finished.
Right.
And then these come up like, oh, even going, like who's, again, when I know the answer, who's going to buy this from me? Or it's funny how that.
The world knows you. If you don't go for it, it's a disservice.
Yes. And that is what I love. Like, I will say, I love, I just love connecting. Like, I also believe that's one of my big, one of the big things I can do is I love connecting with people and connecting other people. So I do love being in person, which is, I like that more than,
Yeah.
But even groups and just being with, we're in a women's group and it's the best.
Yeah.
Nothing fills me. I mean, obviously my family, my kids and all that, but it fills me up so much.
Yeah. So when you started Bond, you created initially, it's not the same now, when it was Jenny Schatzle, it was a program.
Yes.
It was,
6 weeks.
6 weeks. You kind of cycled through this program. It kind of built on itself. You have the resources and strengths. I'm assuming that you created that program.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So you have the resources and strengths to create a program. And then what you're saying is, I really like to do those programs in person with people.
Yeah.
Great. So you have the resources and strengths to create a program, and you're really good at being in person with people, which not everyone is. Not everyone has that skill set. My guess is that you have the material, you have the content.
Yes.
Okay. You might need a little bit of structure.
I am not structured.
Really?
I am not structured.
You're not structured. No. Okay. So you need some help with structure.
Yes. I'm definitely not structured. I'm very I'm all over the place.
Okay. So we live in a world where you go into Google and you write, help me make a course.
Talking about this. Yeah. Is even part of my story is like, I'm only good at fitness.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself like, I'm not somebody who can sit down and write this. I can. I just keep telling myself like fitness for so long was my like art. Like I could go into a room and I can be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Right. We put on an event, 20 people are supposed to show up, 100 show up. I'm like, great. This is how we're going to pivot. This is how I'm really quick on my feet. I can things like that. But sitting down and structure, I've always said I'm super unorganized. I'm not structured. And me just telling myself these stories, I can't sit down and write this. I can't focus, has kept me from doing it. Right. And literally that just came up as you were saying that.
Right. So what I would like for you to do is to break out of that box and find the space between strengths and values. So you do best when you operate on your strengths.
Yes.
You're good in front of people. And it may be that your course develops out of you invite 5 people to do a 5-week in-person course with you, and you just talk the thing out while one of those people, the 6th person, comes for free, and their job is to take some notes and turn it into a course.
I love this idea.
Or whatever it is. But if your strength is quick on your feet, I do a lot of my writing while I'm running.
Yeah.
I'll be on a run and I'll just voice memo, or I'll prepare a talk or a podcast. The podcast that just came out last week or this week, I did running. I was like, okay, I want to talk, and it was like the morning up. I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. And then I came and that's how I organized it. So everyone's different, and we have these stories about what it's supposed to look like, and then we force ourselves to do it the way everyone does it. If you're not a sit down and write a course, then maybe you teach the course, and from that, the structure evolves. Or maybe you get someone to take all of your verbal stuff and turn it in. We live in a world now, ChatGPT could do it. ChatGPT could take you talking through this course, and then you transcribe it, put it in a ChatGPT and say, outline this thing for me.
Yeah.
And it will do it for you.
Yeah.
So all of these are stories that are keeping you stuck.
100%.
And the world needs you. If you don't go for it, it's a disservice. And you're supported by people. They're going to help you. They're just wanting for you to take the first step. And it's not about you.
So true.
So
It's
we're
all
gonna do more business coaching after this, because this is my jam. I love to
Oh,
create things, and I have lots of ideas of ways that you could do it. And we're friends, and we're gonna help each other out in that way.
I love this.
But I do think it's these things that are the bigger barrier for you than it actually is that you're not structured or organized. Because somehow you've been able to take a business from ground up.
And then right away, I'm like, yeah, but I didn't do it on my own. I had a lot of help. I have somebody who is structured. So
Good.
it's almost like I
Right.
make
So
excuses for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like you're raising 2 children and you would say, yeah, I didn't do it on my own. I hope not.
It's true.
I have
Very
someone
true.
that's structured and on time. I hope so.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is that
Yeah.
that we all depend. We all are interdependent on each other. And I don't think you would tell any of these moms that they need to do any of this on their own.
So true.
So,
Oh,
okay,
it's
my
gonna
dear.
make me cry right there. Oh, love that.
So what's your takeaway? Bring it back down. Get back. Yeah. What do you want to take away from this time together?
I can do this. I can do this. And I'm going to do this. I mean, even like all of this, and it's so, I do a lot of self-help work.
Yeah.
And all of this is so true. I'm going to blast this everywhere in my house. But really, too, the story that I'm, not structured. I'm not good at, I wrote a book. Like, I can write, that I can't sit down and do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better in the gym. Talk about, okay, right there. What do I need to let go of? I need to let go of that. I think that's my only talent. That's what I need to let go of.
Yeah.
Like, the gym is very much my safe place because I can go back there and get everything I need.
Right.
And not to I'm not going to let go of it. I'll always be a part of it, but I can do more than that.
Yes. And that the values that show up in the gym can be put in a lot of different places.
Yes.
So it's not that the gym is some magical thing. There's going to be a day when you will not be able to teach in the gym the way that you're
100%.
teaching. And probably
I can't teach at 44 like I did
Yeah.
at 34,
Already,
already. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yes, you've seen it.
But the values that you bring, the community building, the fun, seeing people, the welcoming, the creating belonging, those are values that you can do until you're 105.
Yeah.
In any body, in any form, in any shape, in any way you want to manifest it. Right now, this is this part of your life. When you're 75, you may be in a different part of your life where you're taking those values and applying them in a different way. But right now, this is calling. It's calling to you. It's saying, this needs to be birthed from you.
Mm.
And it does. It doesn't mean you're letting those go. It just means that you're shifting that energy into a different manifestation of it. And then we're all going to benefit, including you, from that. So I'm excited.
I feel that deeply.
Good.
Oh,
Good. Okay. There we go. Very good.
Talk about gifts. You are so good at what you do.
Oh, well, you did it all. All I had to do was go inside you.
I've done a lot of therapy, and I think I got more out of this last hour than years of therapy. Like, I feel so deeply. This needs to be birthed. That was exactly it.
Yeah, that was good.
That was awesome.
Yay, Jenny. Okay, here's your list.
Thank you. That I'm gonna put all over my house.